I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me.
Hello everybody, it's Mrwebnvel. This is part 10 to top 5 web novels. After this I'll do a part 11 and that will be it in terms of the top 5 web novels, at least for now, since obviously I can't just recommend you guys all of the books that are on these websites, because that was the point of doing the top 5. I'm just giving you guys some recommendations that I've personally enjoyed, and some of them that which I might not have read, but I've heard good things about. Alright, let's get into it. So the first book of the day is Immortal. So genre, action, adventure, martial arts, sci-fi, Zenzi. Description: here, only those with spiritual roots can cultivate, while those with mortal roots are destined to stay mortal. Or is it? Mrwebnvel only has mortal roots, but will he only remains immortal? That's an obvious, that's a rhetorical question, because which way, immortal, he's immortal. Like, put one together, you get 2, put 2 together, you get 4, things just start making sense. Alright, then let's do it some way, let's get into it.
Immortal. Finally, I've succeeded. This is how the novel begins. Our protagonist, Mrwebnvel, is content with the fact that he's succeeded in making a concoction that, to people simply, don't take my word for it, makes people stronger or increases their potential. He tells what seems to be his partner, a woman he wants to marry, about his success. He tells her he's sorry for not taking care of her as much as he should have in the past few years, and he will marry her, and then they can become rich from selling their concoction. She asks him if he wrote it down, and then he decides to walk to the laptop where he wrote it down, and then it happens. She stabs him in his back, literally with a knife. She just stabs him. He's shocked, wondering, why would she do this? She knows if he wanted it, he would give it to her, even if it means he won't get any money. She's crying about how she's sorry. And this is my first time reading this, and I was looking at her as if like she was an old person in front of me, thinking, you dumb Trish, you baba. If you were sorry, you would have stabbed the person who took care of you for over a decade. I don't want to hear any excuses acting like EDP 4 for 5 talking about you want to get some cupcakes. No, sir. We know that the cupcakes are just the cherry on top for you. You want the other cakes, you pervert. She keeps saying sorry, and eventually he meets his end. End of chapter. Alright then, let's move on to the next web novel, Undefeated God of War.
Undefeated God of War is the second web novel of the day, guys. Genre, action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, martial arts, so on. Description: youth is meant to be used to shed sweat under the sun. Youth is to continuously engage in battles and secure the win. The endless journey on Heaven's Road, an endless expedition, a testimony of a heart-supported youth's legend, a dream every man harbours with the ignition of the blood. Forever young, undefeated God of War. I like the fact that there were pieces of youth there, it feels like there's an emphasis on that word. Yeah, it's a standard description, short, sweet and simple. The triple S's. Oh, then let's get into the summary.
Undefeated God of War. Our MC, Tantian, as called Double T, is known as the most outstanding and skilled fundamentals expert. It sounds like a pretty cool title, right? He's asked to demonstrate the fundamentals in front of some youths to show them how to properly execute certain moves. Most of the youths are excited and praise him because they feel it's powerful and seems cool. Some hater, says that Double T has stayed in the same class for 5 years and can't graduate till next year. Double T hears this and challenges the boy, but the boy, being a keyboard warrior and the kind of guy to want to end you just because you have a nice girlfriend. Once they have trained for a while and Double T leaves, the boy is asked about by all the other youths to elaborate on what he was saying before. This guy, feeling as if it is his time to shine, he says that Double T only learned the fundamental, resulting in him not being able to graduate till next year. He gives some examples of needing the fundamentals and advanced techniques. If not, you will not have a bright future. Some other guys mentioned that the guy that was speaking bad about Double T is in trouble since he will be their trainer and will use the training time to teach him a lesson. And that guy, hearing that, is he starts shaking because he knows that he's in danger. Because he knows that even though Double T, so Tangtian, has not learned only knows the fundamentals and doesn't know the advanced stuff, he still built his older brother. Chapter ends with Master Sen, the man who was teaching the youths at the start of the web novel, warning for Double T's future, as no one wants to hire a swordsman that only knows the fundamentals, and at least to be hired, he'll need to at least know rank 2 martial techniques. Let's move to the next web novel, AST, Ancient Strathnian Techniques.
AST, Ancient Strathnian Technique. Genres: action, adventure, drama, edgy, fancy, harem, martial arts, mature, so on and so. Description: a human warrior cultivating the ancient traveling technique has transcended dimensions and arrived on Kyoshi. Together with 12 ravishing beauties with looks that were unmatched in a generation, will he be able to stand on the summit of the world? This novel is about a main character named King Shui, who transcended dimensions and arrived in the Kyoshi continent. Storms of blood and wind resulted in corpses and bones strewn about, extremely common here. The young warrior, King Shui, forged ahead in his path to cultivate, using 10 years to train himself, only to seek vengeance for the one who had forsaken his mother. And in this case, it's his father and his father's family, technically speaking. But then, yeah, that's what you need to know. I won't say anymore because then that kind of ruined the story. But yeah, go ahead and read it. It's 2000. Wow, 200 chapters. Yeah, it's decent. I'm alright. I recommend you reading this as one of your first few web novels because it gets quite repetitive. So once you read a few web novels, you go to this, you won't appreciate it as much. But it's one of your first few web novels, you like it more compared to reading it later in your web novel journey. I'm saying it as if you're a scholar. That's why you've been around for decades. Just looking back on your past experiences. And let's get into it some way.
Ancient trafficking technique starts with a 5-year-old deep in his life and how he reincarnated into this world and trying to accept the fact that the people in this world cultivate and that he's not in his original world anymore. His name is King Shui, and when his mother calls him, he returns to a bright expression of a 5-year-old. He was reincarnated as a fetus in King Yi, who's his mother. It took him 5 years to somewhat accept this truth. He wants to become a powerful person. However, he's not able to cultivate, which crushes his dreams before he can even start. His king clan is the most powerful clan in the 100 league radius, which according to Google is 51 miles or 50 kilometers if you're from America. He happens to be going past a courtyard where children are training their martial arts, and his mother can see the pain in his eyes as he knows he will forever be an ordinary person. As such, she shields him, but her actions are useless, as the kids that see him start to laugh at him and speak about how useless he is. Okay, that's the end of the chapter. So let's get into the next web novel, Divine Emperor of Death.
D-O-D. Divine Emperor of Death. Genre: action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, harem, romance, slice of life. And one thing that I just want to mention, as you can see here, the tags are 18, so if you're under 18, don't read it, yeah, because there's sex scenes, there's quite a few of them, especially in like when it gets to like the chapter 1000s and so on. So that's just a heads up in case any of you guys don't want to read that. Yeah. Let's get to the description. Tianlong, an orphan without much of a life in both his 30-year-long life and lifespan. To him, a single opportunity was displayed to transmit into another world with his death book. And the death book is like it's just the death note, to put it simply. It's actually just a copy of a death note. Yeah, so what's this? Is this the body of a 3-year-old? Davis is my name from now on. Finding himself as a small child, he becomes inwardly conflicted before he faces the truth and his reality. Young Davis finds himself as the legal heir, the crown prince of the royal empire in the Grand Sea continent, becoming a powerful cultivator in a short time. However, is that all? Follow his journey as young Davis becomes a full-fledged death's advocate while embodying into the divine emperor of death in the world of cultivation. The route to become the emperor is given. Nah, I still don't want it. Oh, I'm causing death, you say? Unfortunately for you, death is already my woman. Let's get into it somewhere.
Yes! I finally did it! There seems to be a theme of novels starting with someone shouting the complete an action or objective. This person, Tianlong, I'll just call him T. Our MC states that he obtained the death book a decade ago and that he used it once to kill his only enemy. The death book, for the users who don't know, is basically I forgot his name, Death Note, the Death Note in anime. And for those of you that don't understand, Death Note basically you write down someone's name, that person will, be the end, to put it simply. He has to go back to his country to complete a quiz idea. So he goes to his house to rest, take a shower, and think about the people he has met in his life, and the fact that he didn't get to develop greater relationships with some of them due to his illness. Because basically, he has an illness where he's going to meet his end in a few years' time. So, he's kind of like living the YOLO lifestyle. Okay, so He decides to leave his house, walking it with several locks to make people think that he went on holiday or something like that long before. The reason he's going ahead with his crazy plan that seems to involve crossing over to the road is that he does not have much time to live, as I said before. So he has an attitude of go big or go home. I guess in the situation it's go big or end up in the dirt. So he arrives at an ancient temple and does not find anything indicating road travel is possible. So sets up a tent and plans to try it again the next day. Just as he is about to sleep, he hears a sound outside his tent, goes to look and realizes it is a young man who was hired by a temple nearby to clean his ancient temple. The young man calls him old man due to the fact that his hair is white and he has wrinkles on his face, when in reality he's on the same age as the young man. After the young man tells T to leave tomorrow since he does not want anything to happen to the, in quotation marks, old man, he leaves. After he leaves, T goes back to the temple, finds a hidden mechanism, presses it, and discovers a set of underground stairs. He checks around for an hour to make sure there are no traps. After checking it, it's safe. He goes down and sees the circle formation where the outer circle appears. Oh my gosh, this Christmas story is attacking me, man. Spherical. The outer circle appears spherical, whereas the inner circle appears as an oval with an eye in it. He uses a transmigration stone plus pressing a switch to activate this formation, and he hopes that he'll be able to transmigrate into another world, and that whatever is affecting his lifespan will be made redundant. It's a bit confusing, but it's best if you guys read it and digest the information yourselves. So he starts the formation, gets close to it and gets sucked in, and he feels an immense pain and watches as his body disintegrates into nothing. He did not notice the Death Note being destroyed, and a black shadow comes out into the transmigration stone, and he wrapped the transmigration stone at the back of his head, so in case anything goes wrong, his soul will go into it. Now he's just in special storms for who knows how long. The nearby temple that brought the ancient temple and knew about its secret found out that someone activated the formation under the ancient temple, and are annoyed as they used 2 years worth of resources to try out the formation. A man wants to inform the head priest of the temple that there's an issue, and the Stan wants to stir in what to say because he knows that the head priest will not react in a positive manner. The head priest says spit it out, and the man says that the young man Xiao Yi that was hired to clean the ancient temple was caught lying pape, basically banging a girl under a tree, and when caught he ran away. The head priest says end him in a woman, but the man says that the woman is the head priest's illegitimate daughter. The head priest spits out blood and collapses as he could not accept the fact that his daughter is getting banged by someone, never mind the fact that it's not her husband or boyfriend, assuming that she has one, which we assume she does not. What way to end, then plus the man that the head priest was talking to about the temple being activated, and then leading to find the transmigration stone, burst into laughter like he had the funniest joke. Alright then, let's get into the next web novel, Tomb Raider King.
Tomb Raider King. This is the 5th web novel. The genre is action, adventure, comedy, harem, shonen, supernatural, and the description: the tombs of the gods have appeared in the world. People who were able to collect the artifacts inside these tombs could use the abilities of heroes of law, granting them wealth and power. Then an unknown Tomb Raider who started to loot these artifacts suddenly appeared. He's known as the Tomb Raider King. Damn it, that's a trap for me notes. That damn BS load. Who did everything head to? What's yours is mine, what's mine is obviously mine. The Tomb Raider, who revived in the past after his death, will start to take every tomb in the world for himself. Let's get into the summary, and I'll go further into all of this about why, he's taking everything.
Tomb Raider King, TMK. Our story starts with our MC, Ju Hyun. I'll just call him Jay. That's easier to say. Our story starts with Ju Hyun introducing some background information to us, the leader. He mentions that the tombs started appearing, and within the tombs were artifacts which gives us use to special abilities such as the ability to predict the future, the ability to cause someone to go poor, or weapon artifacts like swords and sabers. He says that those that monopolized the artifacts became the new power and wealthy, and those that did not have access to artifacts became slaves to those. And guess which category Jay was in? Yep, the slaves. He's bleeding out, about to meet his end, and he's been backstabbed by his boss, who was and is envious of his talents, and did it because he wants to get rid of any potential future disasters. The main reason Jay waits for his boss, Chairman Kwon, was that he promised to use his divine great artifact to cure Jay and his family members from their illness. As he's cursing Chairman Kwon, he hears a voice, and he starts conversing with it, and the voice is mocking him, saying that this is your punishment for raiding all of those tombs. Due to it admiring his potential, he decides to give him a second chance, not just to be reborn, but to become a monarch. As Jay falls into unconsciousness, he sees a crow in a bright white light and realizes that it is the artifact that was conversing with him. And he also realizes that it's a very high grade artifact that he's never seen before in his life. He moves his legs and realizes that they actually move, which should not happen. As he crosses his legs, he jumps up, looks around and notices he's in the police station with an officer in front of him, questioning him. After hearing an officer speak for a while, he understands that he's gone back in time 15 years and can get artifacts before anyone else can. But he also understands that he does not have his past abilities anymore. Plus the artifact that made it easy for him to tomb raid, which should not be available for him to get at least for another 5 years. So he feels like his hopes are crushed. He feels like the course playing with him. The chapter ends with him seeing a text with his name and him responding in a sarcastic manner with, "Oh, would you look at this?" as he thinks the crow still has evil intentions. Alright guys, that was the last summary for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment, like, subscribe, and basically, yep, I said it. That's the catchphrase. And basically, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, peace out. It's been Mr. Webnvel.